And you can see the CFC wrestler in dark, the Moss and Necedah wrestler in the blue with the yellow highlights. And Lambert quickly to a takedown, goes up 2-0. And these third place matches will be 1 minute first period and then 2 minutes second and third periods. Lambert is going to get some swipes. He picked up 2, and this could be quick. He's tight. And there is your third place winner. Declan Lambert finishes 2 places above his seed with a pin in 21 seconds. Your third place winner is Declan Lambert, Cochrane Fountain City. Congratulations to the Pirate freshman.
Henderson, I am told that he has 5 brothers and 4 sisters, and that 8 of them are involved in wrestling. Noah Henderson also competes in baseball, and he enjoys camping. He just did a heck of a job in that championship. Okay,
and the Lamberts have certainly made wrestling a family affair, as Dad wrestled at the state tournament. Declan is also involved in FFA as well as football. And he came into the match with a 6-5 record, just slightly over 500, and really proved himself way above his record. The reason he's not in the starting lineup is because Cochrane Fountain City has another freshman, Noah Henderson, who wrestled in the final, who was 21-7 coming into his final match. So look for those two to be stalwarts in that CFC lineup down the road. Right now we're waiting for the 106-pound 5th place match to finish up, and they're in the second period with a 1-0 score. And in that match you have Kylie Klum from Westby against Gracie Rumbalski from Independence, Gracie being a junior and Kylie being a freshman. And it's a female 5th place match. Gracie coming off a big win in Independence's Thursday night dual meet win over Whitehall, where she earned a pin at 106 pounds. And with 16 seconds left, even though you're looking at a blank mat, 10 seconds left now. Rumbalski holds a 1-0 lead. And Rumbalski will go down in the third period. And we're going to go silent here for a little while. There's 1 minute, 35 seconds left in the 5th place match at 106 pounds. And while we can, let's introduce our 113-pound wrestlers. At 113 pounds in our 3rd place match coming up, with 1 minute 12 left in our 5th place match that we're waiting for. At 113 pounds for Gale Eckler Trempealeau Melrose Mindoro Titans will be freshman Coda Perney. And Coda will bring in a 21-13 record into the match. Perney just lost in the semis to the number 1 seed, Jaden Geyer of Westby, in a close 6-4 match. And his opponent is going to be Espen Pitts of the Boston-Necedah Co-op. And Espen is also a freshman, and Espen will bring a 17-12 record into the third place match. Melrose Medora Gaelic of Trempealeau, or GET Mel Men in the programs, are bringing in their varsity reserve in the tournament, along with guys that have an extra match available to themselves. And the coaches this year have got to watch that pretty closely. The rule is all these wrestlers can wrestle a total of 14 contests, but they can only have 50 matches under their belt going into the regional tournament. So there's a little bit of arithmetic on the coaching end that needs to be done. Perney is normally the 113-pound varsity wrestler. However, he has room on his schedule to compete this weekend, as do a couple other varsity lineup wrestlers for the GET Mel Men wrestling team. And our fifth place match has concluded, and looks like our Westby wrestler has placed fifth. And they're doing the introductions for the first place, and here come your third place wrestlers. Boston-Necedah will be in the blue with the yellow highlights, and the GET Mel Men wrestler will be in the darker singlet with his back to the camera. And there's a shot, he's in deep. A little trip inside, and Perney goes in for a slick 2-point lead. Perney, as a rule, works pretty quickly. He tries to turn wrists. He's got one leg scissor. You see he has that knee off the mat, and that makes it really, really tough for that bottom wrestler. Very difficult to get to your base with only one knee on the mat. And Perney's in control with trying to work the wrist. Now he throws a half. Riding pretty perpendicular. And the Shell Lake Necedah corner might be calling for a stall. There he gets out to the side. That avoids a stall warning. Works a half, and he's got a, if you can see, a chicken wing, and here comes a tilt. And he gets 2 swipes, and that is tight. And there is your fall. And it was right at the buzzer, a second late. So we're going into the second period. Perney picked up 2 points near fall. The Shell Lake Necedah wrestler defers to the third period. And Perney then chooses top. Had good success last time, feels pretty confident. And he starts in a rather unique starting position with that near side knee up. And here he's got the chicken wing again. Works very, very quickly. Both these wrestlers are freshmen. Perney came in the number 4 seed. And here he's turning again with that chicken wing. He'll try to adjust. He might come back for a reverse half. Here it comes. And he picks up 3 more. He gets his head stuck in there. There he pops it off and remains in control. Pitts did a nice job coming off his back, because that was going to get tight if Perney was able to sink in that reverse half Nelson. Perney continues to work with just 1 minute remaining in the second period. Perney is up 9-0 in the match. We're at 113 pounds here in the third place matches at the Indee Invitational.
Decided to give the choice.
Close out of bounds. You have to like the way Perney still wrestles there. And rules have changed a little bit now in Wisconsin, allowing more space there on the edge, so there's more wrestling that takes place. And there he tries to tip, and he rolls out of bounds. They'll start again in the middle. Perney goes on top. Pitts on the bottom. Perney up 9-0, 26 seconds left in the second period. And there's that position again. I think that's the only time I have ever seen a wrestler in the top start in that starting position. Here he's got a wrist. He works a chicken wing again. He's been successful. He's gotten points both times he's thrown it with 9 seconds left. Don't know if there's going to be enough time. Tries a half on the far side. That was successful in the first period. Pitt's holding him off, and we're going to go in the third period. And the Shell Lake wrestler gets his choice, and he's going to go up on top because the GT Mel Men wrestlers had 2 ride-outs. There's a quick little stand-up, good little balance, fights his hands, turns his hips out, and then he turns in, he scores 1. And he gets on a leg, but they go off the mat. And you have to like the way Perney works very, very quickly in trying to secure points. Here's that left-hand head tie. Piss does a nice job controlling, if you can see his right wrist, and that sort of isolates. And we're going stalemate. And we're going back to middle, try it again. Perney, tough on underhook. There's a little shot, and you drive his head up. See if you can cut across him. Little inside trip. Squeezes him down and scores 2. With 1:27 left in the match, Perney is up 12-0. Again, Coda Perney from Gale Electric Trempealeau, Melrose, Mindoro. Espen Pitts is a young man, kind of a jack of all trades. He's in the school musical, track. Unlike many, many, many students, he can brag, I should say, of perfect attendance, and that is not easy. And just like many wrestlers in this area, we sort of pride ourselves on it. Lives on a farm, works hard. And currently we're working at Culver's when he's not needed on the farm. And Espen's dad is also on the coaching staff. And as I read here, the wrestlers are asked to just fill out just a little form, so we as announcers have something to say other than talking about their match. And we got 25 seconds left, as you can maybe see. Perney's up 12-0 and in command here. And Espen writes of his dad. He says, "My dad is one of my coaches this year, and he was a pretty good wrestler." And as we all say, who have wrestled and have gone on from that, the older we get, the better we were. And there's your match. Coda Perney from Gale Electric Trempealeau, Melrose, Mindoro, with a 12-0 major decision, will be this year's 113-pound third place champion. Congratulations. And good luck to both wrestlers as they head into the second half of the season. And this next match, we're gonna kick right off, as our third place match was the last match of this particular round. And we have got another Melrose Mindoro, Gale Electric Trempealeau, Melrose Mindoro wrestler. And you can see him in the green facing the camera, Gunnar Kremer. And he will face from Clear Lake, Caitlin Riesler. Or if you're from Clear Lake, I'm not sure, that might be wrestler. And Gunnar with a quick little slide by, 2 points with 15 seconds into the first period here at 1:20 in the third place match. And Gunnar working for that cross wrist, tight waist. And Kremer trying to turn in. He's got a leg. He's looking for, and there's the escape. Looked like he was looking for a roll in there, Peterson roll as we call it. And this might end up 2-1 in the first period. And there is almost a takedown, just a slick little ankle pick by the Clear Lake wrestler. We go in the second period. Kremer from GT Melmen gets a choice. He'll go down. He's leading 2-1 as we go into the second period. Over Stephen Wood. I had that wrong. I apologize. Stephen Wood of Clear Lake. Wood came in as the second seed and was beaten in the semis by another Gallagher Trempealeau Melzendorf wrestler, Jay Stetzer, by a score of 4-2. Both wrestlers locked up here. And now Wood's going to look for a fireman. He's in deep. To no avail. Kremer in this green singlet is leading in the match 3-1 with 1 minute 10 seconds remaining in the second period. Kremer just trying to hold off Wood's takedown attempt. There's an underhook by Woods. Kremer walks out of it. Kremer has to be careful. He hasn't shown any offense yet. Woods coming around if he takes to the mat. And there's 2-point takedown. And that ties the score up. We're 3-3. Kremer will go down now with 39 seconds remaining in the second period. Score is tied at 3-3 here in the third place match at 120 pounds. Kremer tripods up. Wood with the legs. Kremer a little roll. Now we're in a scramble position. He has to unhook himself. Wood still in control. There's no change there. There's no change. And there's his point. Kremer walks out, picks up his point for a 4-3 score going into the third period. Kremer from Gallagher Trempealeau Melzendorf will take a 1-point lead into the third period. Stephen Wood from Clear Lake chooses down, Kremer on top, and here they go. Man on top has a 1-point lead, 4-3. And we're early in the third period of the third place match. He's trying to get some swipes. That's not gonna work. Wood's gonna try and back out, scores 1 point. Kremer stuffs his head, scoots around, doesn't give that up. Kremer's trying to lock up that elbow again. If he turns in, he's gonna look for that Granby roll. Kremer stops him. Woods still has that elbow locked, you can see on the far side. Kremer's hooked that near side leg, and that shuts that roll down. Kremer with a strong sit out. Stuffs that sit out by Wood. And we're right at 1 minute remaining. Man on top, Gunnar Kremer from Gallagher Trempealeau Melzendorf, up by 1, 4-3 with 45 seconds remaining in the third period. Nobody's been warned for stalling. And he keeps Wood flat. And the referee stops it. Lets the Clear Lake wrestler fix his headgear. And we'll start it over again. Both wrestlers look in really good shape. Nobody seems to be breathing real hard. We've got 37 seconds left, and you know that both wrestlers have been in this position 100 times in practice. And here we go for the final 37 seconds. It's a nice little roll. And Kremer catches Wood. He's trying to get some swipes. Wood does a nice job avoiding that, gives himself a chance to fight another day. Down by 1, 18 seconds remaining. Kremer from Gale Electric Trempealeau, Melrose Mindoro on top. He has a chicken wing. He's just trying to get swipes. And that would secure the win, but we've got 5 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. He follows real nice. And he follows, gets the ride out. Gunnar Kremer is your winner from Gale Electric Trempealeau, Melrose Mindoro by a score of 4-3, taking 3rd place here at the 2023 Indee Independence Tournament.
Consolation champion from Boston to
And really a nice match for the Titan freshman. And the other freshman for the Titans was in the final. So that weight class at 120s, pretty solid with 2 real nice young wrestlers.
Second place.
Right now they're announcing the awards for the 106-pound wrestlers. Stephen Wood had quite a list of successes here. He was 3rd at the Barron Tournament, 5th at Shell Lake. Was all conference in the Lakeland. And Gunnar Kremer is a jack of all trades. Does baseball, wrestling, FFA, hunting, fishing, and riding snowmobile. And fortunately, this season, all those snowmobilers had more than a week or 2 weeks to ride their snowmobiles. Saw a couple taking advantage of the trails on the way over to the tournament today. And here is our next weight at 126. Gira of the home team, Independence Gilmanton, versus Armstrong, Osho Fairchild, Augusta.
Anderson had to tie up, trying to find something to work with.
Bryce Armstrong and Owen Gira. The Independence wrestler came in 24-10. He's a freshman, was seated 2nd, and he's in the blue singlet. Facing the camera, Osho Fairchild with a classic dragon on the back of the singlet with a white background.
Very large tournament held in Rivers Falls.
And he came in seated 3rd. And he is a senior, comes in at 21-10. So as 3rd place matches go, there's a pretty high-powered 3rd place match with 4 seconds left in the first period. Remember, these 3rd place matches go with a 1 minute first round, then 2 minute in the 2nd and 3rd round. And it looks like the Osho Fairchild Augusta wrestler had his choice. He defers. The Independence wrestler will take down. And we start. Nice little switch attempt. Good foul by the Osho Fairchild wrestler. Armstrong on top. Scores 0-0 with 1 minute 50 now left in the 2nd period. Pops in the legs. That makes life pretty tough on the bottom. As Girock stretched out. It's a good ride. Not a lot of offense yet. That's going to come. Girock gets his hips up. Armstrong keeps his head buried in the mat. Reaches for that far wrist. Now he's got a tilt loaded up. We'll see if he uses it. He's got that cross wrist with the right hand. Loses it. Comes the leg again with 1 minute 16 remaining here at 126. 0-0 score. He scoots. Girock puts Armstrong in a scramble position rather than a real serious offensive position. Girock has got to get his hips up. Armstrong, nice job. You see him control that wrist. That makes it really, really tough on the Independence wrestler. And Gierach has that arm above the elbow that keeps Armstrong's shoulder on the mat. He gets his arm free. Ref stops it. Nothing happening. We'll start over. There'll be no change in position. Owen Gierach, freshman, will be on the bottom. And Bryce Armstrong will be on top. Owen Gierach on the bottom with 35 seconds left has quite a laundry list of successes here so far this year. He was third at the Whitehall tournament, ninth at the 16-team Raider Challenge. And he went undefeated at the Buffalo River Brawl. Also a member of FFA here at Independence, as well as the Ice Fishing Club. And what Wisconsin school doesn't love to have an ice fishing club? It's also involved in football and track. And Bryce Armstrong was second all conference in his junior year. He's also a cross-country runner, a track athlete. And there's a reversal. And they're going to check to see if there was enough time for swipes. But the reversal for the Independence wrestler was certainly in play. And they're going to change that. And the buzzer sounded before Gierach was able to come around for the reversal. There it is. They changed that now to 1 point, and that's the way it should have been, as the also Fairchild Augusta wrestler lost control right at the end of the period. So Gierach earned 1 point. He's on top in the third period, taking a 1-0 lead into this period. Referee checking for locked hands. You people who saw this on TV can hit your rewind for 5 seconds and see for yourselves. Gierach with that cross wrist and stays hip to hip as they go off the mat, and they'll try it again back in the middle. 1:36 left in the third period. Independence wrestler on top, in position as well as the scoreboard, up 1-0 with 1:36 remaining at in the 126-pound weight class. Gierach tries to lock up a cradle, and he's going to get some swipes. He's got two. Armstrong rolls him through, tries to avoid it. Gierach still has that cradle. He's got 2 points, 2 back points. There's no change. There's no change. As Armstrong looked like he had what we call an okey choke locked up for a moment. Gierach was able to sneak out of it, and now is up 3-0 with those back points. And there's Armstrong with the escape, goes to 3-1, 57 seconds remaining. Gierach with a takedown attempt. That was Armstrong with a takedown attempt. Gierach thwarting it, going around, taking a 5-1 lead now in the third period at 1:26, 40 seconds remaining. Still follows, he's got that wrist. A little bit of a crossface. Armstrong walks out. It's now 5-2. Something big has got to happen. Gierach has got to get his hips up, and there he scores second takedown for the match. And they go off the mat with 14 seconds remaining. Barring what the Independence coaching staff would call a catastrophe, Gierach has this almost locked up. 7-2, 14 seconds, short time as they say. Nice job pulling Armstrong back. And there was almost disaster. He does earn 2 points right at the end. And as that last little 7-second flurry proves, never say never. But our third place winner at the Independence Indy tournament, Owen Gierach of Independence Gilmanton. Freshman, now 25-10.
For the 113-pound weight finisher, in 6th place, Nolan Thompson of Whitehall.
And well, in the background, you can hear the awards
5th
being
place,
doled out to the 113-pound weight class. As we get ready for the 132-pound weight class, here on your screen, they're going to wait till the awards are handed out and the appropriate pictures are taken. So let's introduce our 132-pound third-place wrestlers. In the green singlet with the decal on the front is Scotty Anderson, and Scott of the Electric Trempealeau Melrose Mindoro came into today's tournament with a 5th seed, and here he is, finds himself in a third place match. He lost in the semis by pin against the number 1 seed, Colin McKittrick of Royal. His opponent will be Joy Baker of Durand. Joy's a sophomore. Both these wrestlers, by the way, are sophomores. Joy brings in a 19-10 record into this third place match. And Joy is wrestling true to his seed, coming in as the 3rd seed in the 132-pound bracket, and we're off with 1 minute. And Joy, very active, the Durand wrestler, comes in deep, comes around, finishes, and is up 2-0, 40 seconds remaining in the first period. And right from the get-go, it's like Johnson might have a long row to hoe here. He comes back to his base, tries to fight that hand. Baker from Durand with that ankle, puts Johnson on his hip, elevates the knee, tries to keep it off the mat. Johnson puts it back down, try to free his wrist. As you can see, there's a lot of pressure on that right shoulder with 8 seconds remaining. And Baker from Durand comes over with 2-1 and time, and picks up 2 back points and goes up 4-0 in the second period. The Durand wrestler gets his choice, defers, and Johnson chooses neutral. Does not want to be underneath the Durand wrestler again. Figures he had a better shot on his feet. So here we go. 2-minute second period. The Durand wrestler in the blue uniform up 4-0.
Colin McKittrick from Royal.
And there's the second takedown of the match. He comes across his face for a Turk.
And there is
has Johnson laid out flat. Now working on that wrist. By this time, you can see how Baker of Durand has that wrist pinned. That makes it really, really tough for that top wrestler. Johnson to his feet, though. As they scoot out of bounds, Johnson, with it just lost real estate there, gets a point. And with 1 minute remaining in the second period, Baker's up from Durand. Baker is up 6-1. Wrestler's in the neutral position. And there's a little Kelly, we call it, comes around. Johnson bails out. And puts Baker up 8-1. This is gonna be a tough position. Johnson, not a lot of offense he can work down there. He's just gonna try and hold him off. If he can get that wrist down, he'll be golden. Now he's got to back out and try and score 1, but Baker's not gonna let him do that. He comes back in, legs in. Johnson, nice scramble position. On the Durand sophomore. And there's a half, and there you can see the referee giving him swipes. Baker adjusts. Johnson, nice job, puts him in a scramble position. We've not given up those 2 near fall yet. All right, so he gets 2 near fall out of that scramble. We takes us into the third period. Baker up Durand, up by a score of 10-1. Now Baker will go up on his feet, feeling pretty confident. Already accrued 3 takedowns, a couple near falls. Johnson doing a yeoman's job, staying in there, battling. Baker with the underhook. Johnson controls his wrist, takes his offense away. Now he's back to neutral. Johnson now with the overhook. Tries to control that far wrist. There's double unders. With 1:28 left, the GET male men wrestler in the green finds himself down 10-1. So there's a chance he may try and swing for the fence. There's a nice little low level. Johnson tried to sprawl and just missed him. Baker again up 12-1 in this period. Has the leg in, looking for back points. Shoulder's got to break the 45-degree plane. Still nothing. All that is uncomfortable for the bottom wrestler. Here comes a power half. He puts his hand to the mat. Still looking for swipes. There come the swipes. And he's got one. Referee did not indicate 2 points. Johnson doing a good job trying to hold him off, and this gets even more uncomfortable. You can see where that shoulder's at. Referee check, and then he stops it potentially dangerous. And that's a good call. He starts more. 24 seconds left. Baker's on top from Durand, up 12-1. Has been in control since the opening takedown. 5 seconds into the match. Again, if you look, we're at 132 in the third place match. And with 10 seconds left, it looks like Joey Baker is going to be true to his third seed and be our third place finisher here for the Durand wrestling team with a 12-1 decision at 132. Little about Joey Baker. He was last year's regional champ, team MVP, accumulated last year a 30-7 record. This year so far, 3rd at Black River Falls, 5th at the Cadet tournament. He was beaten in the semis. By the number 2 seed from Shell Lake, Tanner Bandely. And that'll get us set up then for the 138-pound consolation match, or third place match, as we say. And you can see the milling around only because we're waiting for the 132 fifth place match to conclude. And that has a close one, 1-0, has a minute and 2 left in the third period. And now that lead is going to be lost, and it's going to turn into a 5-1 match here in a moment. And maybe a pin, 45 seconds remaining. Let's introduce our 138-pound third place contestants. From Blair Taylor, we have Ryan Flynn. Ryan's a junior, comes in with a 23-12 record. Started the day as the 3rd seed, and he's going to wrestle to see if he can be true to that seed. Won his last match by a 17-3 major decision. And his opponent will be Mason Romanelli from Boston-Niceta, also a junior. Comes into this match 22-11. This is a rematch of the quarterfinals. Romanelli winning that match in a slugfest, winning by a 12-7 decision. Right? Mawson Cedar wrestler will be in the blue singlet with the yellow highlights.
They're like 32-0 as a senior.
And the Blair Taylor
Ryan Nagosky.
The Blair Taylor wrestle, Ryan Flynn, will be in that classic dark singlet, dark blue highlights, the Blair Taylor on the back. And they're going to take one more moment here as they recognize our medal winners at 120 pounds. Little background on both wrestlers. First, Ryan Flynn of Blair Taylor. Again, he's a junior, comes into this match 22-12. And he was first at the Lee Griffin tournament in Kickapoo. He was second in the Ithaca Weston tournament. And he holds the season reversal record for the Blair Taylor Wildcats. And he was also a regional champion. Mason Romanelli of Mawson-Nisita also has 3 tournament finishes to his credit. He was 4th at the Royal Invite, 4th at the 16-team Toma Scramble, and 5th at the Sauk Prairie Invite. And he finished in the top 25 at the Bi-State tournament over the Christmas holiday.
And here we go.
And Roman is active in church. He's also a hunter, fisherman, wrestler, and he's active in his church's youth group. Ryan Flynn with that shot. They go right off the mat, 51 seconds remaining. Is also involved in cross country as well as baseball, track, and the Blair Taylor Club. And here we go, another attempt, this time by the Mawson wrestler, and they're off the mat. Both wrestlers very active, 43 seconds remaining at 138. 0-0 is your score in the first period. It's a little fake catches, and there's a nice shot by Flynn. Deep in that legs, heads outside. Now it gets a little bit tougher. He can't lock his hands. He can't reach his other hand as Romanelli tries to come around. Romanelli from Mawson-Nisita, remember, won the first match earlier in the day with these guys. And looks like we've got blood time. And that's going to be Mason Romanelli. Looks like he's got a bloody nose. We'll get him fixed up. And it looks like Ryan Flynn over there on the far side might have a little on him, so we'll get him cleaned up as well, and then we'll come back at it. In the finals, yeah, the Battle of the Lakes. Dominic Lentz of Clear Lake versus Briar Nagloski of Shell Lake. All right, we are back at it. We're ready to go again. 18 seconds remaining, 0-0 at 1:38 here in the first period at the Indee Invitational here at Independence High School. And a little more cleaning going on. They need to take care of the mat just a little bit instead. And here we go. Nobody shoots off the whistle. Might be content just to try it. There's a little throw by. And there's a takedown and swipes with 7 seconds remaining. With 7 seconds remaining, the Blair Taylor wrestler, Flynn, earns a takedown and near fall right on the edge of the mat. And there's not a coach in the state doesn't love that action. Your wrestler continues to wrestle right there on the edge.
126.
Boston wrestler gets his choice in the second period. He chooses down. He's down 4-0 going in the second period. Here we go. And we've got a caution on the top. Man was a little bit ambitious off the whistle. We'll try it again. And here we come. Flynn breaks Romanelli down to his stomach. Romanelli works his way back up. Flynn works the leg in. Romanelli up on his feet. Flynn with a cradle locked up. Romanelli tries to get to his base. Flynn reaches over for a cradle again, pushes him away, and we've got a 4-1 score. Flynn from Blair Taylor with his back to you. Now scooting around back to the scorer's table. In the lead with 1:20 remaining in the second period. It's a nice little shot. Gets his head buried. Romanelli, nice job putting his hips back. Flynn trying to work in. Right now, Flynn is not really working offense. He's just hoping for the stalemate. There he comes up, works his way up. Notice how he kicks that knee in. Romanelli, longer wrestler, trying to use that reach. Flynn has to change hands. Romanelli picks up that wrist. Flynn continues to turn in. Does a nice job trying to maintain, but it's going to be hard in here if he can't lock his hands again. Romanelli has a far ankle, keeps that head away, has a tough time getting his hips away, and that's going to be tough. Now he collects his hand. Flynn still digging in, and there he works his way around. Romanelli with the takedown, 25 seconds remaining. Flynn tries to hip in, just a whisker, 19 seconds. Flynn from Blair Taylor now on the bottom is leading in the match, steps over that back leg, now looks for a little bit of a Granby roll, nothing there, 8 seconds remaining. On the edge of the mat again. And the Blair Taylor wrestler in that little scramble, they go out of bounds, but the referee will award 1 for loss of control. So Flynn goes up 5-3, 2 seconds, 1 second, and there's time in the second period. And Ryan Flynn will take a 2-point lead into the third period, and he'll choose down. Romanelli from Moss-Necedah, pretty confident on his feet. Says, let's just give him 1 more point, and we'll go neutral. Giving Lynn a 6-3 lead, and Romanelli's in deep early on, comes around, locks. And Flynn bails out. Romanelli now down by 1, 5-6. He's going to cut him loose. Flynn turns, collects himself. Romanelli again on that single. Romanelli, a taller wrestler, really does use that reach. Flynn does a nice job right there, hold him off, turns in, but it's going to be hard if you can't lock your hands. Romanelli again with that long reach. Flynn just kind of burying that head on the mat, trying to drag it closer to the knee. Flynn is up 7-5, Flynn of Blair Taylor. He's on the bottom. And there's the score is tied up with 1 minute, 4 seconds remaining in the third period here at 1:38. Romanelli, Moss-Necedah, has a cradle locked up. There he lets it go. So he's got a decision to make. Can he ride him out or should he cut him and go for a win? And he cuts him. 48 seconds remaining. Romanelli, Moss-Necedah in the blue with the yellow highlights, down by 1, 42 seconds remaining. Those couple of takedowns work very easily. And there's that first stalling call. So that's going to force Flynn to look for some offense. He cannot afford to back up and scoot off the mat again. There he backs up. There's his shot. And what a shot. He has to stay on the mat. And he holds him off. He has to stay in there and work. With 24 seconds remaining. Looks like he's got a fireman's, but Romanelli has got that ankle, and if he locks his hands, now he's in pretty good shape. He has to keep scooting, tuck his head into that knee. Still no control. Now it gets tougher again. And he turns in, 2 seconds, 1 second, and he hung on to that leg, and no score. And your third place winner will be a reversal from an earlier match. Ryan Flynn, Blair Taylor, wins third place match, 8-7 for the Blair Taylor Wildcats. What a match by these two young men.
I can have your attention for the
And that's what everybody comes to see. Two young guys, they're experienced, using some strategy on both sides. Flynn knew he was warned for stalling. He couldn't afford to back up. He had to take a shot. Came in deep on that single. Came up to the mat. Romanelli, nice job holding him off. Flynn then came in again. Knew that if he could just hang on to that leg and keep circling, he'd be safe. And lo and behold, it was close. 10 more seconds, may not have gone the same way. But there you have it. And a nice job by both guys. As you hear in the background, they're awarding the medals, I believe, for 120 or 126.
We are going to move into the 145-pound championship match.
All right, moving right along. We're 145 pounds. And we have Matthew Paulus of Whitehall with his back to the camera, with a Whitehall right down his spine, versus Jackson Whitney of Boston-Niceta. And here we go, with 1 minute in the first period, at 145, third place match. Paulus in quick with a single, tries the trip. Whitney holds him off with that whizzer. And 145 was a full weight class here, so these two guys had their work cut out for them today. And 37 seconds remaining, 0-0 tie at 145 in a third place match. Matthew Paulus takes a little shot to no avail. Whitney holds him off with that front head deep in the hole, looking to circle. Paulus does a nice job trying to defeat that. But that's tight in there, holds that arm out. And with 10 seconds left, edge of the mat, they may finish in the neutral position unless somebody takes a shot. And there's your shot. And now they're off the mat. And time is out here in the first period. Go in the second period. And Whitney from Boston-Niceta gets choice. He chooses down in the referee's position. 0-0 is our score, 145. Paulus takes position. When he sits up, controls hands, tries to tripod up. Really tough to wrestle in there. You look at his position, sits up his back straight, and he fights Whitney's hands. Whitney doing a nice job, just working underneath the arms. And now he has,
30 seconds remaining in the first period.
I should say that's Paulus on top, from Whitehall.
Sunday had a bye and
Whitney again sits up, tries to control hands, trying to turn in. Now he's got that elbow and he's looking for maybe a Peterson roll. We'll see where he goes here. Now he turns in. The Whitehall wrestler is still in control. And he kind of buries Jackson Whitney of Boston down the mat. Still no change. Whitney steps out and he's going to score one. Now he's got one.
almost got him down to time. Time ran out. No points.
And Boston-Niceta again in that blue singlet, the yellow highlights, in on a single. He's already up 1-0 with the escape, and he's in deep. Tries a little step over. We'll see if he can score. Referee says no. Referee says no. They're right on the edge. Still nothing. And what a good job by Matthew Paulus holding off a very, very deep shot. What Whitney had to do there is get his hands up around Paulus's hips. And Paulus kept scooting. And here we go.
A couple of good wrestlers here, sparring for position.
And we got that wrong. Right at the end of that scramble, went back and the referees declared a takedown for Whitney. Matthew Paulus of Whitehall quickly reverses that, literally with a reversal, here with 22 seconds remaining. And Whitney returns the favor with 16 seconds remaining. The Moss Necedah wrestler on top, up 5-2 in the match with 8 seconds remaining in the second period. Paulus, nice job getting a foot on the mat, controlling the hand, see if he can break away. 2 seconds, 1 second, and it's not going to happen. So, with the ride out, Jackson Whitney of Moss Necedah holds a 5-2 decision going into the third period. Paulus logically chooses down, pretty good success before, not really threatened in terms of back points. Gives up that wrist a little bit, still peeling the waist hand, and drug back to the mat. And here we go again, still trying to control the hands, reaches underneath. Whitney doing a nice job now with that coffee grinder. Pulls his hips to the mat. He's going to try and sneak his head on under. Steps over, pulls it behind his back. Referee watching, making sure that's legal. It's got to be 9 degrees across the back. Make sure that wasn't compromised. Paulus gets out of it. He's back to neutral. Scores 5-2 with 1:20 remaining in the third period. Paulus again gets a foot on the mat. Whitney hangs to that right side. There's an attempt at a switch, trying to put two together. And there's a little short sit. And you gotta like the action. And Whitney, just like ugly on an ape, he is not letting Paulus breathe down there. And he's doing enough. He's hanging on to that ankle. Now he goes to the wrist. And as long as he gets his hips out to the side like he has, he's not going to be warned for stalling. Paulus does a nice job trying to peel that waist hand. Paulus now down. He's giving up the chicken wing, but he's got to wrestle on the edge so he doesn't get called for trying to flee the mat. And they're off the mat. There'll be no change. Jackson Whitney carries a 5-2 lead in the third period, 34 seconds remaining. Matthew Paulus from Whitehall on the bottom, facing a 3-point deficit, and there's his escape. A takedown will tie the score. Takedown and ride out. Paulus with a front head. There's a shot. Hard to get penetration on the Moss Necedah wrestler. Whitney on top, puts his head in the hole, trying to come around. He's content to just kind of hold Paulus at bay with 9 seconds left, 8 seconds. Paulus with another little shot. But he really can't break Whitney's defense, and there's your match. Jackson Whitney, Moss Necedah, will be the third place finisher by a score of 5-3 at 145 here at the Indee Invitational. A little bit about those wrestlers now that we get a chance. Jackson Whitney came into the match 29-10. He was a senior. Had a real nice tournament finish at the Bi-State over Christmas, 12th place. Also a sectional qualifier. Also a soccer and football player.
6'14". He needs to ride him out for 36 seconds.
And Matthew Paulus, a 145-pounder for the Norseman out of Whitehall, also a cross-country runner and a golfer.
Sunday, try to sit out. Coming up.
Son of Becky and Mike Paulus. It looks like as it goes on, again, both these guys are seniors, looking to the future. Matthew's looking at being an electrician. So there you have it. Good close match, 5-3, won by Jackson Whitney. And as we went in, Whitney got all the way to the semis, then was beaten by the number 1 seed by fall. And 5th seed, so he improved 2 seeds. And Matthew Paulus was the 4th seed. And he's true to his seed. In an earlier meeting, both these wrestlers met in the quarterfinals due to their seed. And Whitney also won that one 8-4. And looks like we'll award just a little bit to the next weight class, and then we'll get ready for 152. We'll do a little background on our 152 pounders. And coming into this round, Clear Lake had a lock on the tournament title, but it was still in doubt between Independence and Westby. Independence holding on to second place by five and actually 6 points. So while they do the awards, let's introduce our third place wrestlers. Our first wrestler from Pittsville, Landon Lazivsky from Pittsville, came in as the second seed, and he lost to the third seed out of Cochran Fountain City in the semis, and that brings him here, and he will face out of Blair Taylor, Gunnar Coxlian. Gunnar comes in as the fourth seed. Gunnar also making his way to the semis, and he was defeated by the number one seed from Onalaska, Bryce Buchanan, by fall. And Gunnar comes into this match, senior. Gunnar of Blair Taylor comes in 19-16, while Landon Lasivsky from Pittsville, I may just end up calling him the Pittsville wrestler, comes in 11-6. Both wrestlers are seniors. And here we go. They face off in the 1 minute first period, 45 seconds remaining. There's a nice shot, double leg, finishes, drives through, nothing yet. He crawls up. And Coxlian from Blair Taylor draws first blood with a 2-point takedown. Lasivsky locks onto that elbow. Not much offense there, but it freezes the top guy. And we've got 25 seconds remaining in that first period. Lasivsky, nice job getting to his feet, not letting Coxlian control the wrist. And he backs out for the 1 point. We'll go back to the middle with 17 seconds left. Coxlian and Blair Taylor in the blue with a 2-1 lead. Lasivsky of Pittsville with a big P on his hip. Pretty easy to distinguish the wrestlers. Coxlian with a quick takedown with 3 seconds remaining. Right at the end of the first period, we'll go into the second period with a 4-1 lead. Coxlian gets the choice. He defers. Lasivsky goes down here in the third period. Lasivsky facing a 3-point deficit. Again, we're 152 pounds in the third place matches. Both our wrestlers here are seniors. They're well seasoned. Coxlian can brag of an 8th place finish at the highly touted holiday tournament up in River Falls, the Northern Badger. And Lasivsky's the captain of that Pittsville wrestling team. Lasivsky, again, trying to control wrist, trying to scoot out. It's up on his feet. He's got one, just is able to walk out. A takedown will tie it for the Pittsville seniors. As they face off, tries to crawl in on that shot. Coxlian stuffs in, tries to scoot around behind, blocking the arm. They're both on their feet one more time. Lasivsky controls a 2-on-1 on that right hand of Coxlian. Coxlian with a head position, really neutralizing the Pittsville wrestler. Now he comes around the front headlock. He's going to try and stretch him out a little bit. He almost scored on the last time he was in this position. And he's shut off by that leg. There's a little spin. See if here's a hustle takedown and points by Coxlian. And he's getting swipes. 2-point takedown, 6-2 in the match. And looks like referee's holding up 2 more. Not yet. Not yet. We're holding 2. And there's your 2-point near fall. That takes the Blair Taylor wrestler on top to a comfortable 8-2 lead with 25 seconds remaining here in the second period at 152. Coxon comes over the top. Going to try an inside cradle. Look for a little offense. You can tell his confidence there. And Lasivsky greets that with just a tough crossface. Coxon's not giving up his position. He's still in control, even though Lasivsky's over the top. You see Coxon has that leg locked. He's got both hands locked on it. And that'll take him to the third period. There was no change in position. Lasivsky couldn't control Coxon or get loose, and all Coxon had to do was just sit still. And they'll go on their feet. Here in the third period, Coxon up from Blair Taylor, 8-2 at 1:52. Here he holds him off with that hand on his shoulder. Lasivsky in with a single on the left leg, locks his hands. He's going to try and build up. Coxon with a strong wizard. Now he tries to stretch him out. Lasivsky, nice job fighting to his feet. His head still down. Coxon's going to. Looks like he might even try and trip him, trying to control hands. Lasivsky, nice job switching off to a double and driving across the mat, closing the match within 4 points. Coxon still on top, 8-4. Coxon, of course, in the blue from Blair Taylor down below. Coxon then turns in, finishes off that reversal, goes up 10-4 with 1:05 left in the third period. Lasivsky with that little reversal, couldn't hold him. Here comes a tilt. Not quite. Now he gets some swipes. There's 2. There's 3. Referee's holding 2. Coxon has 2 near fall in his back pocket, and there he scores it on the scoreboard. Coxon goes up 12-4. 36 seconds remaining. Lasivsky comes around front. Coxon holds him off. We'll see if he's going to be stingy or is he going to improve his position. That can be dangerous to some wrestlers. You got that crossface. There's been no change in position, however. Coxon reaches for that leg. Coxon just gives up the 2 reversal. No harm, no foul. 9 seconds remaining. And he gets the 2 right back. And ends up, looks like a 14-6 major decision for Gunnar Coxon, Sr. Blair Taylor is your third place award winner here at the Independence Indee Invitational. Good hard match fought by both guys. You can tell they're upperclassmen just based on their demeanor and just the way they compete. By the time you're a senior, when you wrestle, you get into that mentality. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. So very few seniors will get all bent out of shape over one match. They'll look at it, they'll improve, see what that guy did that made him so successful, and what I need to do to get better. And right now there's going to be a pause. We're waiting for the championship match to finish, and it's almost there, 15 seconds remaining. And no chance of an overtime, or so to speak.
There's the 3 awarded.
Looks like the Onalaska wrestler is in control. And the Onalaska team will pick up an individual champion at 152. And that'll take us to 160 pounds. 160 pounds, and there'll be, of course, the award ceremony recognizing those wrestlers. And you at home, now's a good time to grab a beverage, a sandwich. We'll be about 2 minutes maybe before we start wrestling. But if you're already hydrated and nourished, let's take a look at our 160-pound wrestlers. Brock Neeson of Shell Lake is a sophomore coming into this match, and Brock is 25-12, and he'll face off against Caden Paulson of Clear Lake. And Caden comes into this match at 25-8, and Paulson Let's see what we got for him. There we go. Paulson comes in as a sophomore, seated third in the bracket, and Neeson came in seated fifth. So we'll see if the Clear Lake wrestler is true to his seed, and we'll see if Brock Neeson can improve by 2 places. And looks like they're waiting for the Shell Lake wrestler, and looks like there may be a default, perhaps a medical default. And that's exactly what it looks like. As the Clear Lake wrestler was ready to go, Shell Lake wrestler probably was injured, so Shell Lake coaching staff figured it'd be best to just hold him out. We've got another couple of weeks to go, and hopefully we can get Brock back in the lineup. A little bit about both wrestlers. Brock Neeson, who wasn't able to wrestle in this third round match, is one of the captains on the Shell Lake team. Several awards from his wrestling team. One, the Hammer Award, which is unique to the Shell Lake team, was awarded to Brock, as well as Most Dedicated Award. Brock was also a first-team linebacker in football and was Rookie of the Year in baseball. And like so many of these guys that you've seen now and will see before the tournament's done, likes the turkey hunt and deer hunts. So he's one of those guys that has no problem getting up early in the morning, sitting by a tree with camo on, just waiting for something to walk in, while being perfectly quiet.
Now he's got an underhook and an overhook, and he's trying to get
Caden Paulson from Clear Lake, who was awarded the third place finish, sophomore. Last year was a sectional qualifier, as well as being all conference. And Caden is also a trap shooter, a football player, and baseball player. And like several others, he's an ice fishing enthusiast. So he's got a couple weeks ahead of him where we still have pretty good ice. Based on the weather, we're going to get even better ice over the next couple days. It's going to get chilly. And he also likes hunting. So there's a lot to say for that. It's kind of a theme to these wrestlers. You don't see many sitting on the couch being gamer enthusiasts, although there are probably a lot of them that are a little bit guilty of that. Most of these guys are outside doing something, and the vast majority are multi-sport athletes. And just a shout out to football programs around the area, around the state, where football coaches are just screaming for more wrestlers on their teams. And likewise, the wrestling team, maybe we should say that better. Wrestling teams are just screaming for more football players. And the football coaches will agree wholeheartedly. If you want to improve your ability to play football, especially linemen, you should wrestle. And so I've heard that over and over and over again. All right, so it'll be a little bit. We're in the second period in the championship, and we're in the third period in the fifth place match. And some of you may have already seen that first place match, but in there we've got another Onalaska wrestler, Jackson Hughes, 31-9 junior, and he's wrestling against Hunter Breaker of Osseo Fairchild, Altoona, and he's 23-7. And you heard that thud. No harm, no foul. That's why we use mats and not gym floors.
Garrett Van Land of Westmead.
In the second period.
In the third period in the fifth place match. And in that fifth place match, you have Lean of Blair Taylor versus Degner of Royal, and the Blair Taylor wrestler looks like he's pretty comfortable over there. He's got the Royal wrestler on his back and just casually picking up back points. Royal wrestler gamely keeping his shoulders off the mat. Then he outlasts him. Your fifth place wrestler, if you're a Darylin Conference fan, is Lean of Blair Taylor. And that's Ben Lean, a junior of Blair Taylor. Over Samson Degner, sophomore of Royal. A little shout out to Ben of Blair Taylor. He came in with a 13-14 record. He was seated 7th. So tremendous day for Ben. And now we're waiting on the championship match, and it's a close one. We're in the third period.
Breaker advanced by the third period.
And going forward, if you're still have your TV on in the background, we got a minute 42 in the championship match. And Hunter Breaker is on the bottom from Osceola Fairchild, Augusta Altoona. Finds himself on the receiving end of a 4-2 deficit against Jackson Hughes of Onalaska. And Hughes continues to dominate on top. Breaker looks like he's going to back out, and he scores his 1-point escape.
Works the one. Hunter Breaker now with a 5-2 lead. Jackson Hughes trying to get those underhooks again. Breaker goes down. Jackson Hughes again trying to get those double underhooks. And Breaker calls for backing up. The stalling point goes to Hughes. So it is now 5-3. Go! 5-3. And Breaker is down on the mat. And we have 5-5. Breaker tries to roll through.
In the finals, we got 40 seconds remaining, and the score is now tied.
Good job of countering that.
The score is now tied between Hunter Breaker and Jackson Hughes.
Trying to drive it over.
Hughes on top. He needs a ride out with 20 seconds remaining. Breaker on the bottom. Comes to his feet. He turns in. He's got a single leg. And they come off the mat, and there's no change. And there are 13 seconds now remaining in the championship match. Even though you can't see it, it's a pretty good one. Two high-powered kids. And this one might go in overtime. First one in this final round. Tries a little Granby roll. Onalaska Ruther stays up, rolls it across his chest. 3 seconds left, 2 seconds left. And now we're going to go into overtime. So I'll just hold it here to a kind of fan yard.
You got him, man.
We got 5-5. They have 1 minute to score. Of course, you can't see it. You're looking at the Independence Indy mat. And Jackson Hughes from Onalaska gets the takedown with 12 seconds into that overtime 1 minute period.
Jackson Hughes of Onalaska.
And next up, they're going to award place medals and recognize the medal winners as we get ready for the 170-pound match. And let's get you up to speed here at 170. At 170 from Mauston-Necedah, we have Hayden Gillen, he's a sophomore, and he got to this third place match by way of a 12-3 decision. And he will face Connor Anderson of Eau Claire Memorial. Connor came in as the 6th seed, and he got into the third place match via a fall in 2 minutes 55 seconds. They're putting their ankle bands on. As you've seen before, if you stayed with us, the Mauston-Necedah wrestler has his back to us. Mauston across the blue background with the yellow highlights. And the Eau Claire wrestler has the big eagle on his chest. And we're at it. Remember, we have a 1-minute first period in these consolation matches. And this again being the third place match. And they're sort of feeling each other out here.
And he has hit 100 wins for his career.
Gillian, a sophomore from Mauston-Necedah.
Come up on top.
And we've got our first score over here in third place match. Drawing first blood is Anderson of Eau Claire Memorial, going up 2-0. And that'll take us right to the second period. He got that takedown, about 10 seconds remaining. He gets the flip in the second period. He defers. The Mauston-Necedah wrestler, Gillen, will choose down. Anderson, feeling pretty confident on his feet, lets him go. And we go into second period now, 2-1, with the wrestlers in the neutral position. And a little wrist control, 2-on-1 by the Mauston wrestler.
Our official is counting.
And there's a nice deep shot, held off of that underhook. And there's a scramble, they're both to the mat. He still has that underhook. That's the Eau Claire Memorial wrestler.
He gets 3.
And the Mauston-Necedah wrestlers almost has what's called an okie choke. We had to take him to the mat. And that position has changed. The Anderson doesn't quite have it yet. Gillian scoots him by, ends up with that okie choke, the leg laced inside, he's over the top. And he takes a 3-2 lead. Gillian from Mauston-Necedah with a 3-2 lead on that takedown with 57 seconds remaining in the first period.
Roger has to make something happen to get back into this match.
And Gillian being pretty dominant on top. Gillian came into the tournament seeded third, so we'll see if he can wrestle to a seed, while Anderson came in seeded sixth. And there's the whistle.
Anderson hits the switch blocker with a very nice
and Gillian just dominant on top. Warning stalling called. And looks like Looks like Gillian will get the ride out, carry a 5-2 3-point lead into that third period. The Eau Claire Memorial wrestler will choose down and see if he needs an escape.
Second in the conference last year and a regional champion.
He's got to get something set up. Coming around, and there's his reversal. And Anderson of Eau Claire Memorial now down by only 1, 4-5, and he is on top with 1:30 remaining. Controls Gillian with that little crossfade. Gillian scooting around. And Anderson looking for what's called the banana splits. Now they're in that scramble. We go back to the middle of 1:19 remaining. Hayden Gillian of Moss-Necedah leading in the match 5-4, 1:19 remaining here at 170. Connor Anderson trying to close that gap, but he's on top. Gillian with a nice little scramble, gets his hips out, and this is going to be 5 for sure. Gillian's going to try and secure. He adjusts, that's going to be tough. True to his seed, Hayden Gillian of Moss-Necedah is your 3rd place award winner here at the Independence Indy Tournament.
Trying to drive Brogger flat.
A little bit about some accolades. We've got some time waiting for the first place match to finish. They've got about 1:30 left in the third period. The GT Mel Men wrestler up 13-0 with 1:25 remaining in the first place match. But Connor Anderson, Eau Claire Memorial, kind of a laundry list of successes so far. He was 3rd in the Auburndale tournament, placed 3rd in the Ladysmith tournament, and was in the finals, placed 2nd here last year. Activities, and this reads like a broken record: hunting, fishing, and likes rebuilding his pickup truck.
Staying right in there.
And this is a family fair up there at Eau Claire Memorial. Connor also has 3 other brothers that wrestle, so there's a lot to say for DNA. And we'll let you folks now, like I said, we've got 28 seconds remaining. 28 seconds remaining in the second period, or third period, excuse me. And we're gonna stampede to the 182-pound match right after they're finished here. Right after we're finished here, we've got the awards, and then we're gonna run into the 182-pound weight class. So we have got time here while you're looking at the wrestlers warming up. We have for the Blair Taylor Wildcats, Jason Schramek. Jason's a
Let out your attention for 152-pound award winner. Congratulations,
we've got. We don't have Jason. I was announcing the finals here. In third place, we have Maximus Elliott of Shell Lake. He's a junior, and he will face Austin Loshing of Eau Claire Memorial. I saw as they were getting their singlet squared away. It's not a Blair Taylor singlet, so my apologies. But Jackson Schramek for the Blair Taylor Wildcats, quite a day. He has not gone into the third period yet and has wrestled a total of just a little over 2 minutes, 2 minutes 7 seconds to be exact. And as we allow everybody to take a picture, we'll get ready to go. Austin Loshing of Memorial, senior, carries an 11-11 record in, and you can see him over in the far corner with that eagle on his chest. He was third at the Lady Smith tournament. Maximus Elliott of Shell Lake, a junior, comes in with a 26-9 record, and he is the Shell Lake team captain. So both wrestlers get their ankle bands, and looks like Shell Lake will be green, Memorial will be red, and we're off here at the 182-pound weight class. In the third place matches at the Independence Indee Invitational. Are you leaving?
I'm not sure if he's still
All right. Those of you who are listening carefully, not to listen in on a mic moment. My daughter works over at the table, so we had to get her out of here. Let's get back to wrestling. 182, 25 seconds left. Memorial, Austin Loshing of Memorial up 2-0 after a takedown earlier in the period. 22 seconds remaining. On top, Maximus Elliott comes in with a 26-9 record. Loshing looks for what we famously call banana split and loses the leg, just rolls him through, no harm, no foul. And on the scoreboard, I didn't see it at home, you probably saw it. The score is now 2-1, so that looks like a penalty point perhaps.
You guys don't go to the arcade church anymore.
Not often, no.
And the Memorial wrestler will choose down and feels pretty confident. We'll see what Shell Lake has in the bag. Picks up the ankle, back to the mat we go, stops that first move. And Loshing, nice job, good action, turns in. And no loss of control on that. Elliott back on top. 1:49 here left in the second period.
Armbar, 2-on-1 underneath. Trying to get fine hands down with that. Gets to his feet.
And Loshing almost a reversal. Nice little roll through just to maintain control. Good little scramble by Maximus Elliott. The Shell Lake stays on top. Tries to lock up a cradle now, and that looks deep. We'll see if he can turn. And he's getting swipes. There's 2, 3. That looks tight. So he's got 2 near fall. 2 near fall. Takes a 4-2 lead at this point. And we'll see how the referee calls this. He still has Elliott in charge, even though he's on the bottom. Now they go neutral. Loshing scores a point back. Loshing now finds himself down in the match, 4-3. Loshing with that deep shot, 35 seconds remaining. Comes up behind.
That is the first period.
Still no score, still no score. We're still working neutral.
4-1.
Austin Loshing of Memorial in control, and there he scores his 2 points. And he goes up in the match 6-5. 6-5. And there's the escape by Elliott. And they've got to slow this down. They've got to get the scores squared away. They have it 7-5 on the scoreboard right now. There we go. It's tied up as it should be. 5-5 going in third period. A quick 2-minute match for these guys, third period. Elliott will choose down.
I'm hanging on him and he drives.
Loshing's got a decision to make. Can he turn him, or should he cut him and go takedowns? Elliott gets on the, tries to work on the far side of that elbow. No avail, head in the mat. Loshing controlling the hips. Or how. And there's a nice little roll through. Loshing, nice adjustment, and he's picking up swipes. It doesn't look like he's end up with a pin, but he's got at least 2, and he's got 3. So Austin Loshing, a memorial, 11-11 coming in, up in the match with 1:22 remaining, 8-5. And now he can breathe a little easier, be a little more aggressive on top without getting crazy. And there's that half again, does a nice job on that, gets out to the side. You have to like the way that Austin Loshing Bye.